Welcome to B.A.Showoff, the dance lifestyle podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Alexandra. And whether you're a dance coach, dance parent, or a dancer yourself, this is the show for you. Today, we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary of B.A.Showoff.
Woo!
Can you believe that we're here?
It's been an entire year, and it's really flown by. I want to talk a little bit about how we got started with this podcast. It all started off as just an idea that my husband had, and he sat with us and he's like, I think this would be great for you guys to have a platform where you could bring guests that are in the dance field that you connect with, people that you kind of want to talk to and meet. And at first I was like, oh my God, that's gonna be so much work. I mean, I don't know.
I know, and I remember that, like, I remember that for a while you and me just like kind of sat in that and just like we didn't even talk about it to each other. We were just like, whatever. And I think like around that time, we were also like in like, we had just started our season because we had started talking about it around like August, September of the year before. And I remember one day I walked in, you were like in your room and I like walked in and you were on your phone. And I remember you saying, have you told anybody about the podcast idea? And I'm like, no, I haven't. Have you? And you're like, no. And we both kind of like, I remember that we had started kind of thinking about it and we were like, okay, this could actually be something.
Yeah. And then we spent, a big chunk of time, outlining what we needed to do and names for the podcast and what should we call it. And we wanted to make it personal, but at the same time, fun, catchy. So, the BA, because of Becky and Alexandra, that kind of like, was easy. And then Showoff just, it just, rolled off the tongue nicely.
Right.
So it was fun. And then we had a friend of ours that came and she did a whole photo shoot with us. And, we just started, it just all started building from one day to the next.
Yeah, we just kind of took a leap. We were like, let's just do it. I mean, and I remember that we were both kind of like, we know it's going to be a lot of work, but there was just something telling us that we got to do it.
Yeah. And I don't know if our audience knows, my husband's a entrepreneur. So he's always looking for the new, next best thing. And
we fell in that category.
Yeah. He found all the equipment that we needed. He built out this room for us. He did everything that needed to happen in order for us to be successful and get started. And then my son, who is in IT and loves film, he's the one that does all the film editing. So it's kind of like a family affair. And, it's been a fun event for us to put together every week. Some weeks are more hectic than others, and trying to, get guests is not as easy as we would like it to be. We've had a couple of Zoom calls, but it's really nice to be able to have people in person and here in the room with us. So, we're looking forward to new guests coming this season. But we want to talk a little bit about, some of the guests that we have had and some great experiences that we've had with them, right?
Yeah, I think one of the most memorable for me was for sure with Varsity. I thought that collab was so fun.
Yeah.
We had so much fun in the buildup of it too, because like even all the marketing for it, that was so fun, like coming up with all of those ideas. And then when we sat down with them, that was a long, like it was like 3.5, 4 hours.
We knew it was gonna be long. We knew it was gonna be more than one episode.
But there was just so much to talk about.
Yeah. And I think that we could have talked longer. I think
we
had so many questions and so many things we wanted to talk about. So that definitely was a great collab, and it was great to have that talking like so easy.
Yeah,
like it was easy to ask questions. It was comfortable. We at no moment, wanted to be disrespectful when we talked to them. No. But at the same time, we wanted honesty, and we wanted, an open door of everything.
Asking the questions that everybody was really wanting to know.
Yeah.
And it gave them a chance to kind of say their side and for us to talk about our side.
Yeah. And we had, we were lucky because we reached out to coaches that we know and told them, hey, any questions you have, what should we ask? What are things that you would like to talk about?
And there was laundry lists of things.
Yeah. People came forward and they're like, ask this, this, and this. So they, it was great to have that collab, not just with Varsity, but with coaches that we're friends with that, gave us topics to talk about and questions to ask that they wanted to know, things that I hadn't even thought about. And they were like, ask about this and ask about that. So that was awesome. And
shout out to Taylor and Stacy for coming down. They made a haul to get over here.
Yep. overnight too.
Yeah, they made it happen. And then we had, we went to dinner after, and that was just so fun.
Yeah.
We kept talking. We could have honestly taken the mics over to dinner with us because we just kept talking about things.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
Yeah.
Another great collab was with Joyce, talking about, the drive back and forth. She was here for a day. And, she had to drive all the way back to Orlando, and she did the podcast with us.
Oh, my God. And we have to tell the audience about what happened.
Yeah. So we were, maybe half an hour into the podcast, and all of a sudden we were like, uh-oh. We never pressed record. And poor Joyce was like, no.
And then as we would film, she'd be like, did I say that already? Or was that from the last time?
Yeah, we stressed her out so much.
But that was such a fun episode. Yeah. So we always have so much fun with Joyce.
Yeah, she's so easy to talk to. And, just seeing everything that she's built, like going from the high schools to college and what she's built over there at UCF, it's cool to talk to her and see, what her mind, where it goes and how she comes up with what she does, and, how she's trying to do the next best thing over there at UCF. So it was fun talking to her.
She's doing such a great job over there.
Yeah.
I also loved our episode with Ricky Beta. I thought that was so fun.
Yeah.
It's always so fun because imagine Ricky's like a little brother for me and another child for you. There's more pictures of Ricky in your office than there are of me. It's fine. But that was so fun because I remember he sat here and he's like, I just want to relax. I just want to chill. And he was like, he had the headphone on just one side and the other side was off. And he's like, I just want to relax.
Yeah,
he
was himself.
So himself.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. I feel like coming on a podcast, you get kind of intimidated by the lights and the cameras and the microphones and, but he is just natural.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of people come on here and they start off a little nervous and they're like, how do I look? And oh my gosh, what are we going to talk about? And they get nervous. And, before we know it, it's like the podcast is over and they're like, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to keep going. That was fun. Can I do it again? So, we try to time it and we try to look and make sure it doesn't pass 30, 45 minutes at most. But there's times that we just,
I think with Ricky, it was an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, we ended up having to do 2 episodes with him, right?
We did.
So
we did 2 for him. We did 2 with Carson too.
Yeah. Carson was great. It's so much information. I think Carson was, one of the smartest people in the dance team world that we've talked to.
Yeah,
that she just has so much knowledge and she's just so easy to talk to. And any question you have, she's got the answer.
And down to earth. I feel like, when you have that much knowledge, when you have that much experience, a lot of times it's easy to,
get caught up.
Get caught up in that. And that's not what the case is. She's so smart that she understands that having a relationship with everybody in this industry is so important. So she's not above any of it.
Yeah.
And she's so willing to learn, so open to meeting new coaches. And she really is. She's so smart. And so ahead of her time.
Such a cool vision that she had when she started Tribe. How it started and the Choreo Connect, and she's helped the dance team industry grow. And like I've said before, my kids, they saw what college dance team could offer them, and that was because of Carson and Tribe. So I'm very grateful to having Carson as part of my Corey family, and for her, I've connected with my kids. My kids love her, and we're also grateful for everything that she's done. Yeah. But that takes me to one of my other favorite episodes that we've done was our after hours one
that
we did
so fun.
Outside. So we stepped out of being here in the podcast room,
which can get a little scary sometimes. That setup was so hard.
Yeah,
I remember that you were in choreo with Sammy.
Yeah,
and you were like, I'm not going to be able to help with setup, just execute the vision. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And it took, I thought it was going to take me maybe 45 minutes to set everything up. I think it took me 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and then cleanup took
took forever.
But that was, it was cool to just get out of the room and go outside and we just talked. We just had fun and we brought the audience in there with us to see what we just sit around and we talk nonsense.
Yeah, it's literally just that. And it was less, I feel like we really emphasize the educational side in this podcast, but I feel like that episode was not intended to be that at all.
No.
It was fully intended to just we want to sit here and show you guys how we talk to each other when we go to dinner.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. That's really what it is.
And gossip about what dance team world. Because, you know, it's what we do. And we just, you know, I love talking about it. And whoever wants to listen to me and hear me rant about, you know, my love for dance team and my love for my kids and you know, this entire crazy world, I will talk to them forever. And it's great because, you know, Sammy, Kristen, Danny, Jovi, they'll all talk about it too forever. So it was a perfect group of people. So
we're hoping to do another one. We have a few people in mind.
Yeah, there are several people who I would like to do an after hours with, and groups that I would like to bring in and do the same thing. So, you know, look forward to that in the next year while we continue growing B.A.Showoff.
Speaking of which, Hilda wants to be a part of that.
Yes, yeah.
And that episode with Hilda was so fun, and it took us so long to get her here.
Yeah. You would think that she would have been one of the first people.
No,
when she lives 5 minutes away.
She was like, no.
One of my best friends, and, you know, has been part of this world forever, but, you know, it took her a while to get her here.
And then when she was here, she's like, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
And let's do it again. And then she would sit there because we filmed her and Miranda on the same day, and they watched each other, and we filmed Hilda first. And when we had Miranda sit in with us, she was like sitting there, and she's like, can I do it again? I want to do it again. It's like, no, it's Miranda's turn.
Yeah. You had your moment. But yeah, we are so grateful for the fact that we've had great audience. People do send us messages and tell us, you know, can you talk about this? Can you bring this person? And it's great to see that people are interested as much as we are in this dance world that's just growing by the day. And, you know, we enjoy being able to bring different people here and talk about what their experience has been like and how it could help our audience. Like, there's so many parents out there that don't know what to do once their kids in the dance world and where they should go next. And so many coaches who are just starting out and really need a little bit of guidance and don't know where to go for that guidance. And, you know, I'm hoping that these little podcasts that we do are helping all of you, you know, in this world and helping you make the right choices and make the right decisions, and knowing that if you do have questions or you do need help, that, you know, we could guide you, or, you know, we could send you somewhere to someone who can guide you to help you make your decisions or what you're doing a little bit easier.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like we try really hard to not just focus on dance team itself, even though this really is more lean towards dance team, but, you know, we talked to like Jamie Ruiz, for example, that, yeah, she was a part of dance team, but a large portion of her work is in the commercial world. And what she's evolved, you know, how she's evolved and what she's done to get to the point where she's at and how dance has helped her get there. You know, we talked to Brandon Bryant too. And, you know, those are people that, yes, dance team was a part of them, but there's so much more. So I think we do a good job of trying to balance the dance team talk and the industry talk, and even the commercial, not the commercial world, I'm sorry. Ugh. And even the, you know, company world. We talked to Andrew Mullet, who went to Pace and did that route, and is, you know, has kind of really taken a very different route in his entire dance career. So I think it's so interesting seeing how different every single person we've talked to is and how different their journey's been. And I hope that the people that we bring on, our audience can relate to some extent, or at least look up to and hope that that's what they can be and aspire to be that way.
Yeah. I mean, and we're trying to make this educational as well. So in the sense that we tried to bring, we brought Liz to talk about nutrition. That's so important for dancers, not just for dance team, but for all dancers and for everybody, really. That nutrition and being healthy in this world is so difficult nowadays. You know?
And I think just in general, dancers have such a negative, like there's a stigma of dancers that they have bad eating habits, don't eat, starve themselves. And it's so important to have somebody like Liz in the world that is saying you could be all of the things. You could be a dancer, you can be an athlete, you can be everything and still be healthy. Yeah. And I think it's so important for everybody to understand how to be healthy and what the right course is for that, how to get there, what to do.
I also enjoyed bringing Yamil Well, we actually went to Yamil. We went to him, and having him talk about injury prevention and exercises and conditioning that the dancers could be doing, and just showing us what our dancers could do to strengthen or to work on different things that they need, like their turns, their higher releves, their extensions. So bringing that knowledge in, some of those things we learned a lot from them, and things that we take back to our dance teams and we could work with them. So this for us has become educational as well. Like we've learned a lot in this year, and even with all the years that I've been doing this, I still have learned so much with each of the guests that we've brought on, and I'm so grateful that they've come and they've talked with us, and they've spilled the beans, and they've opened up to us, which is really why we started this. This was never started to be negative, and we never wanted to have any type of controversial conversations, or we didn't want any type of putting people down or making somebody feel bad. The whole point of this was for us to be able to talk to all the different dance team and dance industry people who could bring that knowledge to our audience members. And I'm hoping that we've done that so far this year.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think was your favorite episode to do?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think our first episode was probably the most memorable.
Which take?
Because it took us forever.
It took us 3 tries.
Yeah, at least. And it was just, I remember talking and being like, I said that already. Wait, stop. What were we talking about? And
the flow was not there. It didn't exist.
Just like starting to talk and your dad being in here saying, no, stop.
Oh my gosh.
You sound bad. No, it doesn't sound right. And no, that doesn't make sense.
That was also a lot of pressure when he used to sit in the room.
Yeah, and just
we were like, just go. And then I remember one time he was telling us something, and he was telling me to say something. I think it was part of our intro. He was like, say this, and I'm like, okay, I remember now. And he would go on with an explanation of why I should say it. I'm like, please don't. I'm gonna forget.
Yeah. But I think that first episode was very memorable. It's where we got our nerves out, and we were like, okay, we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't even know what camera to look at. I remember
we've come a long way. We were so not comfortable.
No, at all.
We really were, and I feel like you could tell. Like I look back, I haven't looked back at our first episode in a few months, but I remember I looked back once a while back, and I was like, we knew nothing. Like we were. I can't believe we got as many views as we did.
Well, we just wanted to talk to people. We just,
and we were like, yeah, okay, so
we're just going to do this. But yeah, it was a fun and memorable episode. And I think that, yes, we learned a lot. And at the same time, it felt so comfortable. It felt so easy. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be able to do this. This is not
I think,
as bad as I thought.
And I liked that our second episode was with Danny Solano, because Danny could talk for years.
Yes.
And she was so comfortable. She made it comfortable for us.
Well, she's a podcast person. So
she is.
She loves podcasts. She listens to podcasts. So for her, that was like, okay, let's just do it. And yeah, we could have talked forever with her.
If I remember correctly, I think we had filmed the first episode right before Danny came in. And I think that was like our second or third take that we filmed it. And we were like, okay, we're good. And then after our episode, she left, and we were like, I think we need to film the first episode again. I think we did. Because we were just like, I think that helped us get the flow out.
Yeah.
And for a while, I felt like we were almost scared to do them by ourselves.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do it alone. Yeah. we needed a third person.
We just needed to talk to somebody. We wanted somebody in here to ask questions to and let them do all the talking.
How about the episode with Melissa McGee on the Zoom, that we were so stressed out about getting the Zoom done, and then when we were trying to do the closing, we couldn't do it.
Yeah,
we couldn't do it.
Yeah, and the sound was all messed up, and we're like, oh my God, this is gonna be horrible. And luckily it didn't end up being messed up, but it just sounded, for us, it sounded wrong. And then when we were trying to do how we were gonna do the closing, I just it was like word vomit.
That was the bloopers video that we
yeah. And you guys have no idea how many times we'll be doing something, and then something happens and I just can't stop laughing.
She can't stop.
I'm like, okay, stop, and then tear will be coming down my eye, and I'm like, I can't stop, and I just can't do this. And
we lock in. You gotta come on, let's go.
Waste like 15 minutes of me trying to get back focused. nervous and
And it
okay,
doesn't happen.
stop laughing.
Yeah.
But you guys see that it's fun, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to enjoy what we were doing. I mean, there are times that I walk in here, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired.
But then we start talking,
and then we have somebody come in, and it's like an hour goes by, and we had no idea, and it was just so fun. Another one of my really favorite episodes that we did was with Cash from the Dolphins.
Oh, that was so fun. I love Cash.
What a great personality she has. And it was so cool because I was learning about an industry that I'm not well-knowledged in. So to, talk to somebody about pro, and that the fact that she was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, which was like a dream of mine when I was a little girl. And to see that, she did that. And then, now she's the coach of the Dolphins, and just everything she's done. I thought that was like such a wild little moment for us.
Yeah, and she's another one that's so down to earth.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I met her the one time that she came for the podcast, and then I saw her like one other time, and it was like she was my best friend. She's like, oh my God. She was like so excited to see me.
Yeah, she's
and
so cute.
She's just like that. She's just so down to earth. I feel like, just wants to know everybody, wants to get to know everybody, is like a sponge, wants to learn so much. And she's doing such a great job over at the Dolphins. Yeah, she really, really is.
They're very lucky to have her because she knows what she's doing. So much knowledge about pro dance and the football world, and just her personality. Like, she's like the type of person you want to work for, you want to dance for. So they're very lucky to have her over there. And I was grateful to have had an experience and be able to judge the Dolphin cheerleading tryouts and hang out with her for a little bit because she just has the best personality. She's just so funny, and it's just not normal for us to hear like that accent here in Miami.
And she has an accent.
Yeah. So I'm sure that she says the same thing about us. She's like, yeah, they have
really thick accents for sure. I loved having Cash. I also really loved all of our on the road segments. One of my favorite ones is the coaches convention. I mean, it's always so fun to go to the coaches convention, but it was super fun to walk in and then people just know who we were.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, I listen to your podcast all the time. And I thought that was so cool because we were in a room full of people who love what we love the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like, they're not there just because they have to be. They're there because they want to be better. They want to do more. They want to put their all into, their teams and their programs, whatever it is. And that was so fun to walk in, be with like-minded people, and be able to share our knowledge with them and them share their knowledge with us.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the convention this year again because that is one of my favorite things to do as a coach.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, we go to so many competitions and we see coaches at these different competitions, but it's a competitive environment. It's not like an environment where we could talk and hang out and just, socialize. And it's so cool to go to the conference and not have that competition aspect and be able to talk to other coaches and be friendly. And, there's no reason for us not to want to talk or, have conversations. Let's go have a drink at the bar. Let's go chat. And, we get to do that. So I love going to the coaches conference. I can't
Well, and even like there's times where you might be having a difficult year with your team or your program, and then meeting a coach that has had a similar experience that maybe overcame it or is having the same experience now, like, having somebody that has experienced what you're experiencing or maybe experiencing it at that moment too, it brings so much comfort. Having like-minded people like that in a room is just great.
Yeah.
And the support is awesome. And you meet so many people. Like one of the people that we met, Kayla. We love Kayla, St. Augustine. She's great. But like I met her at the coaches convention and she was so fun.
Yeah.
And we've created this relationship with her. We're bringing more. We've recruited more people to go to the convention. Naya, for example, she's going this year to the conference. And she came on the podcast and she was a lot of fun to talk to also. Yeah. She has a lot of a lot of knowledge in the industry.
Yeah.
Because she was also on UDA.
She was UDA staff, and she was, just off of being on the team a couple years back, and then assistant coach, and then now coaching, and bringing FSU back to where it is, and, doing that. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Naya, because I know that she's, it's tough when you're having to run a team and people don't realize it, and she's doing such a great job.
Yeah.
We've gotten really lucky in getting some amazing college coaches to come in and talk with us. London from LSU. That was so great to have her here.
And I remember that we scheduled that podcast with her the day before.
Yeah.
Night before.
Yeah.
Because she was here for Tribe 99.
Yeah.
And we were at dinner, and I was like, how about you go on the podcast tomorrow? And she's like, okay.
Yeah, and so that was great. We got really lucky there, because to have her here was, so cool. I mean, I get to work with her. She comes and choreographs for my team for the past 2 years, but still to talk to her about her team and the experience that she had while she was in LSU and how it's grown, and how she is as a coach and all that. That was so cool to talk with her. Other college coaches. I mean, we had Melissa, which we already talked about, and I wish we can get her here in person. So we're gonna have to work on that.
We're working on that. Johnny
from UM, which we absolutely love. That she is, she's doing such a great job over
that
there
was such a fun episode too, because she's such a big personality.
Yeah.
So she was so lively, and she's so
bubbly,
and another one so willing to learn from everybody.
Yeah.
The first time I met her, she was like, come see my team.
Yeah.
I want you to see my team. And it's just like she just wants to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
And she's such a great personality.
Yeah, I love her. We also so lucky that we had Morgan Burke here. Again, he was here in Miami teaching a convention class, and able to get him on the podcast and talk with him. I mean, he's so iconic in his choreography and what he's done and where he's been. So really enjoyed having him here. And it's cool because we met him when we went to Prodigy.
Yes.
Derek invited us to go over there and see the Prodigy event in Lakeland, and we got to meet Morgan Burke and talk with him. And I've known about him for such a long time, for so many years, but never been able to sit down and, have a conversation. So it was so cool to bring him on and, talk with him and just one-on-one like that. It was a great experience. And thank you to Derek for introducing us and also for letting us, sit in on the Prodigy experience.
Which that was such a fun episode to do too. That was a really fun on the road. Prodigy, I mean, I feel like I had no idea what we were walking into. I mean, I knew that this was a dance recruiting event, but it was something so different, such a different take on dance recruiting and helping kids get into these college programs. And that was so cool. We also had Derek on the podcast as well. And he's a wealth of knowledge too.
Yeah.
He just knows so much about so much.
And he's done so much. He's done so much. Done it all when it comes to dance.
And he's so humble. Yeah. Such an amazing person. And having him here we were so lucky. Yeah. We were really so lucky.
Yeah. I've enjoyed, and I've brought him in to come guest teach for my kids, and my kids really like his class. He could break down skills so well, really understanding how to do a skill and how to do it correctly. So I really enjoyed having him teach my kids. And I think that everything he's doing with Prodigy is incredible. So
we also had Nathan Cherry. I love Nathan.
Yeah, and Jovi.
He's my whole heart. Yes, and Jovi. And they were so fun because they also came together.
Yeah.
They also came together, and it was while they were both doing choreo for me. And I remember they just sat into each other's episodes. Jovi even sidebar, and she needed to ask Nathan a question. But they're just so fun. Yeah. They were a lot of great energy. Jovi was so natural here. Yeah. I remember she would even talk to the camera, and that's not something that
most people did.
Most people did. And we were like, wow, you were really good at that. Yeah. And she's like, really? Okay, good. And then she would keep talking to the camera.
And then of course we had the amazing Sammy that we got to have her twice. Yeah. Once in her own podcast, which I stressed her out so much because she was here for choreo. And I was like, you have to come and do a podcast while you're here. You have to come. And she was like, oh my God, you're stressing
But
me.
we gave her puppy time because we had just gotten a new puppy, our little Banner. Yeah. And she had some puppy time. So she was like, okay, I'll relieve my stress with the puppy, and then I'll come do the podcast.
Yeah,
and
but Sammy's one of those people that she's so focused when she's doing her choreo.
She has to compartmentalize everything she does.
Yes. She can't do two different things because no, her focus is on this.
Yes.
So I'm sorry for stressing you out, Sammy, when I did that to you.
We also had some incredible like college alums. We had Ale Taubas.
Yes.
That was so fun.
Yeah. And then now she's on the Dolphins. So
now she's on the Dolphins.
I don't think she was on the Dolphins yet when she came in.
She wasn't.
She was in the process of auditioning. So so that was amazing that she, got to get onto the Dolphins. And, and she's like a superstar there. Like,
I know, they love her.
I love her, and she's so good. I love her.
I love her. She's perfect. So I've known Ale all my life, basically. And, her and I trained together. And so that was so fun to just see her, doing all the things that she's doing now.
Yeah.
And she has such a great personality.
She does.
We also had Marley Blanchard.
Yeah.
And she's another one.
Another icon.
Yeah. You hear the name Marley Blanchard, you're like, where?
Yeah.
Everybody.
She's so cute and so natural too. Like she's, so bubbly, and with her you see her, and that's what she really is. There's no like fake. It's not like pretend. She's just honestly just such a sweetheart. I took her one time to get food, and while she was here, and she's like, "Oh, this is yummy." Just so cute. And then I've had two of my alumni, Nicole and Jayla, which, both officers and both my alumni, and they both had such different experiences once being done with dance teams. So it was so cool to have, see how you can just completely do different things even though you were on the same team. And then hearing Nicole's whole recruitment process, I think that was so helpful for all these young dancers who are looking to go to college, and what they need to do and what the process is like, and how hard it is nowadays.
And I think that was right when she announced that she was going to Ohio State. So I think that there were so many people, because I remember after the episode so many people reached out to her. And that was so great knowing that she got a lot of exposure through this too. And just like,
and then she was able to help so many people.
And she was able to help people because of it. And she really, she's somebody that I feel like she doesn't even realize how great she is.
No.
She doesn't.
She's so humble.
She is. And she's so sweet. And I remember she was so nervous to be here.
Yeah.
We were like, just be yourself. And she was like, okay.
But such a hard worker, and everything she's gotten, she really deserves. So.
And Jayla is so natural.
Yeah.
Jayla really surprised me. I mean, I know that Jayla's incredible, but she spoke so well.
Yeah, she's
for being
very
so
mature.
young.
She's a great leader. Super great leader.
For being so young, she was so well spoken. Like, it was as if she rehearsed it before, even though she didn't, obviously. But she just really knew exactly what to say, said it perfectly, spoke so well.
Yeah. She's a smart kid.
Yeah, she really is.
I'm disheartened with the fact that she's not dancing anymore, really. But
come on, Jayla.
But she she has her goals and things that she wants to do, and we always knew that she wasn't going to continue dancing once she left high school. So she made the best of her high school years. She put it all, into dance at that point, knowing that once she graduated from high school, her experience at college was going to be different.
Yeah.
So I think she made the best of her high school years.
Yeah.
But wonderful leader, and she just has a lot of knowledge and knows how to express herself so well. So
we also had some commercial dancers. We had Katie Wilson, who she's also coaching the Sensations. And Katie used to choreograph for me, so I've known Katie for a while. And I remember her being super nervous coming onto the podcast too, but she was another one that when she finished the episode, she was like, "That's it? That was it?" Yeah. I felt like we just started talking. It's like, no, girl, it was 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she spoke so well. We also had Brandon Bryant, which I know we mentioned a little earlier, but I love Brandon.
Yeah, he is.
I love Brandon.
One of a kind.
Brandon, fun fact, did my solos when I was little.
Yeah.
Did 2 solos for me when I was little. And I feel like he has not changed a bit.
No, at all. At all. I love him so much. He's so great. But yeah, he's the same as he was when he was in high school. And then he, did all these amazing things, danced with all these amazing people. He was backup dancing for Britney Spears, and he's been all over the world touring. And he is just the same Brandon.
And he just comes right back as if no time has passed.
No, at all.
And he knows exactly where he came from. He's like, this is my home. This is, these are my people, and he will live, breathe, die for these people.
Yeah, I love him.
He's amazing.
One of my favorite people ever is Valeria Ganas. that she choreographs my JV team. She was one of my cuties on dance team, and then she came back and started choreographing. She's been choreographing ever since she graduated from high school. So she's such an incredible choreographer.
And she was so entertaining to have on the podcast because she has her own like YouTube blog, and she was so natural. I think she was like our third episode.
Yeah. And
that was another one that we were like, we need people here.
Yeah.
We can't do this by ourselves.
Yeah. She was great, and she like I said, she's amazing. So, you know, if there's any coaches out there looking for guest teacher, choreographer, she is just phenomenal, and she's young, and she's got so much energy, and she's just fresh.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend her. I love her so much, and I love bringing her every year. My kids absolutely adore her. She just has the best personality, and she's just so positive.
We really started strong with those interviews.
Yes.
We really did.
Yep.
Valeria was a great person to bring on so early on, and I feel like she did an amazing job of sharing everything that she had to, you know, all the knowledge that she had, but at the same time still making it so entertaining.
Yeah.
And she just has that personality, that bubbly personality.
Another one of our early episodes, which was awesome, was Caitlin Conley.
Oh yes, I love Caitlin.
She, I mean, for people who are in the studio world, from 15 years ago or so, she was
an icon.
Yeah,
an icon.
Yeah. Like you knew, like, jump, and you thought of Caitlin Conley, and I still remember her solo on the stage, and
her millions of turns that she would do.
She was just such a beautiful dancer. So, when I connected with her to bring her to choreograph for my varsity team, I was like, starstruck. I'm like, oh, Caitlin Conley. And she was so cute. She's like, oh my God, I love Coral Reef. And I'm like, oh my God, and I love you. You're so cute. So she just got married. I think we talked about it. Yeah, I think we talked about her getting married when she was here on the episode.
We did. She had just gotten engaged.
Yes, so she just got married, and she's pregnant, having a baby. So she's moving along. But, so happy for her and everything that she's done. And she did so many amazing routines this year at competition. Like, I remember I saw some of the routines she did, and she's just so good at what she does. So we were lucky to have her.
Yeah, we also had Kristen Daniel, which is another icon. She's just so amazing. And Kristen and I have been friends for a long time because she used to choreograph for me. And right away we connected, and we just, we just became friends right away.
And it was cool because she was already choreographing for LSU Lyre Jazz, but
she hadn't. When she came for me,
I'm saying when she came to the
podcast. Yeah, when she came for the podcast,
yeah, she had already started, and she was like, oh yeah, it's good, and I mean, she did not reveal how good it was, and
I know.
They got second place with her choreography, so she's very, very good at what she does also, and we were lucky to have her here. She was somebody who was here in Miami, and I think you had reached out to her. She had reached out to you because she was going to be in Miami.
Yeah, she was like, I'm out of Miami, like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, okay, great, you want to come podcast too? Like, come hang out.
Yeah.
And she was so willing to do it. And I think that's what I love about all the people we've brought in. Like, we don't need to beg. Like, they're so willing to come and talk and educate everybody, because I think that everybody wants to share. Everybody wants to be a part of it, and
this dance world is a family. And
one of the greatest minds that we've had on here, Terry Rowe.
Yes.
That was another one that she was like, absolutely, I'll be there. And I remember when we first started, that was one of the first people I had said, I was like, it would be so cool if we brought in Terry Rowe. And I remember that, you were like, I don't know, that might be hard to get her here. And we figured out a way. Like, we asked her, and she was like, I can't come down to Miami, but I will do a Zoom call. And we're like, okay, great, let's do it. And
she let us go and film at the coaches conference. We're like, we want to do like a little behind the scenes, and she was like, absolutely, come. So what she's done in the dance team world, she's been a judge for so many years, and she's been a part of this world for so long. She has so much knowledge and really can help so many people. So again, we were very lucky to be able to have a conversation with her and talk with her about the coaches conference and just about everything that she does, because she's just incredible.
Yeah, she's just a great mind.
Yeah. But yeah, we are very, very lucky. We've had incredible guests with us for the past year that we've been here. And we already have a bunch of guests coming next. And, we're not going to talk about that now. I guess
Can't
next
drop that
year.
info just yet.
No, next year, when we do our 2-year, we'll talk about all those amazing guests. But it definitely has been a great experience, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed it as much as we have. And then we look forward to just continuing to talk with you guys and giving as much information as we can to you, getting all that knowledge out there to you, because that's why we started this. We started this to help everyone else in this crazy world to make it through and not have to struggle as much as we did. So hopefully that is getting to you guys, and you guys are enjoying everything we talk about.
It's been a journey, and we would be nowhere without all of you and our viewers and all of the guests that we've had on the podcast. All of the people that have supported us, whether it's been because they've come on the podcast, they've promoted the podcast, they've commented on the podcast, or even just DM'd us and said, thank you for helping, or, I found this episode so helpful for XYZ reason. This would be nothing without all of you. And we hope that we continue to spread knowledge and inform everybody of how this dance world continues to evolve.
And big shout out to my husband for having us do this. Thanks, and my son, Dad, for all the editing and
thanks, little brother.
Even those last minutes going, edit this quickly, go.
Go.
Thank you. We're very appreciative to have our family involved in all of this. And hopefully you guys are enjoying everything. And obviously, if there's anything you want us to talk about, you know how to reach us.
We're ready for year 2. And if you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And any questions or suggestions, click on the link tree in our bio, fill out our Google form.
Bye, guys.
Bye.